Welkom bij een nieuwe aflevering van de wekelijkse podcast van Paul de Vries met de missie de online automotive beter maken. Dit doet Paul met de volgende partners met dezelfde missie: Marktplaats, Calldrip, Findio, Used Car Controller en tweedehands.be.
Welkom op deze nieuwe LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, oftewel Periscope Live, oftewel alle kanalen die we kunnen vinden voor vanmiddag 4 uur, waar we een gesprek hebben met Joe St. John van Autovai uit Amerika, welke by far de beste presentatie heeft gegeven op de afgelopen NEDA. In Las Vegas toen het nog mocht. En we zijn ontzettend blij dat Joe hier zo meteen is om te praten over digital retailing. Op welke manier je een dealerwebsite beter kan laten functioneren om meer leads te genereren, maar daardoor ook meer auto's te verkopen. Dus ik hoop dat jullie er allemaal zo meteen zijn. Ik zou het leuk vinden als jullie je even kunnen melden wie er allemaal zijn. En dat we zo meteen kunnen beginnen met Joe. Daarna hebben we Jaap Wijnman, commercieel manager van Autotelex. En dan gaan we het hebben over waar we het net met Joe over hebben gehad, over de dealer website en op welke manier je met betere leads inruilauto's kan taxeren door middel van hun eigen techniek, de Autotelex app. Dus daar gaan we het zo meteen over hebben. Wie zijn er allemaal op dit moment? Kunnen jullie zelf even melden wie je bent, waar je vandaan komt, zodat we zo meteen ook weten tegen wie we aanpraten. Zou ik ontzettend op prijs stellen. Hugo, we hebben alles gemaild. Nu hebben we ook alles gemaild naar de mensen die we graag willen bereiken met dit LinkedIn Live event. Eerst wil ik nog even aangeven over onze aankomende Automotive and Analytics and Attribution Summit, welke we samen met Brian Pesch gaan organiseren. 16, 17 en 18 november gaan we die organiseren samen met onze partners, waarbij we in totaal nu 25 Nederlandse workshops hebben, Nederlandstalig, en een 5-tal Franstalige workshops met onze partners, met onze missie om die online automotive beter te maken. Dus onder andere workshops van Marktplaats, workshops van Autotelex, ook van Autotrack, Google Analytics workshops, allemaal in het Nederlands om jullie te helpen om nog betere leads, nog betere bezoekers naar jullie websites te krijgen. Aan de andere kant hebben we ook meer dan 75 Amerikaanse workshops van onder andere Google, van Facebook, van Cars.com, Autotrader.com en nog vele meer. Chris, dankjewel dat je er bent. Leuk, uit Amsterdam. En uiteraard Hugo zijn er inmiddels ook. En dan geef ik graag het woord en het podium aan Joe. Joe, happy that you are here. Thank you for that one.
Good afternoon. How are you, Paul?
I'm fine. I'm great. How are you?
Man, I am fantastic. I am super excited to be a part of this morning. Thank you so much it's morning for me. Afternoon for you. Thank you so much for having me on to talk about what we're going to get into today. And I'm really excited to share my story, my experience in this world with you and the people attending.
Yeah. What I was saying in my introduction about this LinkedIn Live, you were by far the best presentation I had the last NEDA 2020. It looks like years ago, but it is still 8 months ago that we were in Las Vegas. But can you tell us a story, what you're doing in the auto business, what your story is? And then we are going to go to your presentation, what was amazing.
Well, thank you, Paul. So first off, it means the world to me to hear that feedback from you. I pour a lot of heart and soul into trying to share the message to dealers in the U.S. I have a really deep love for the dealership world. My mom worked in service at a dealership, and my dad worked in the F&I office. And so for me, there's a lot of passion in helping dealers to tackle the new challenges that are coming at dealers. And in the US, those new challenges are coming very rapidly. So my background is I spent 15 years. I know I don't look like it. I look like a tech guy, right? I spent 15 years in the automotive retail environment, front lines in a dealership. I started selling cars in the 90s at a dealership in America, and I worked through every channel till I was what's called a general manager here. I was the operator of a dealership. And then from there, I became the head of training for an F&I company on protection options and products. And from there, I joined a tiny little startup with no dealers in San Francisco called AutoFi, really working to empower dealers to have real e-commerce on their websites, meaning a place where a customer could actually click a button and buy their car. And in the U.S., that's a very novel concept. It's a threat to the traditional narrative of the car business. And for me, it's been an incredibly exciting journey over the last 4 years as we've grown this company at a skyrocketing rate. And we have over 2,000 dealers now. It's been an incredible journey of helping dealers to adopt systems and processes that actually deliver meaningful results all the way to their financial statement. And going from where that begins, which is in that customer experience when they show up to my web space, all the way to the financial statement, for me has been a really fun journey. And it's been really powerful to get to spend that time working with dealers and really adopting those really meaningful changes that are helping us as an industry to adapt to a 21st century customer. And today's customer is a totally different customer than it was not too long ago. So,
but if you are going to take that customer journey from 2020 and you see the space of the automotive landscape, and especially for the websites, what is your feeling then if you look at the current websites and about what the dealer expects from it and what the consumer expects from a website?
Yeah, so there's just a massive amount of data now, right? We can actually look and see how consumer behavior is changing in really meaningful ways, because our behavior is dramatically different today. I mean, like Paul, we live in the Jetsons, right? Like we are in this world where I'm in a barn in the middle of America and you're in the Netherlands, and there are people all around the world tuned into this, and we're talking to each other face to face. Like that's magic. Like that is magic, right? And people don't go to the grocery store anymore, right? Like it's like if you've been to a grocery store lately post COVID, it's weird. Like there's no normal people. There's people with like Instacart shirts on, and they're putting groceries in sacks with numbers on them that will then be taken to somebody's house, right? Like you don't watch commercials. You're not a peasant. You like hit a button and you download your favorite TV show and you just stream it live while you wait on the DoorDash or Grubhub to bring your favorite meal from your favorite restaurant to your place, and you eat it in your pajamas watching your favorite show. And like we live in this world of like instant gratification. The way we buy everything today, it's crazy. Like I'm a consumer, I buy lots of stuff, right? Like you know how I buy it? I hit a button and it magically shows up at my house. Like that's how I buy things. And all of that is like actively shaping the way consumers are trying to purchase a vehicle today. And in the US, that's reflected in really strong data, right? The percentage of customers that start their car buying journey online has now surpassed 92%, right? It's almost 100% of customers that start online.
Makes sense.
Everybody kind of gets that, right? Yeah. The crazy thing is, in the US at least, according to the most recent data I've seen from Cox, the average consumer is spending 17 hours sitting at a screen doing research before they ever walk into a dealership. They are, I'm laying in bed, showing my wife pictures of the car, right? Like I am scrolling through inventory. I'm building it out. I'm turning it around. They're spending 17 hours doing research. Yet in the US, when they show up to a dealership, they're still there for like 4 hours, right? Our transaction time hasn't shrunk, but the research time has shrunk. But what has really changed that impacts dealers in the US is when I started selling cars in the 90s, right? I went to a training class, and it was one of those training classes with like a trainer that's teaching you how to sell cars, and it's like the road to the sale. And what he taught me in 1998 was that my customer was going to go to 5 dealerships before they made a purchase decision, right? They're going to go to your dealership, and they're going to go to the one down the street and the one down the street. In the US, that number is now 1.2. They go to one dealership with the intent to purchase, and if we don't screw it up, they buy from us. And what that means from a strategic imperative for people operating dealerships in the US today is that along that 17-hour journey of that customer staring at a screen doing research, I have to influence that customer's buying behavior. And this is a big shift, because in most dealerships, their focus is primarily on their in-store like bricks environment. That's not where the battle for the customer's heart and like mind is won. It's won when they're looking at their cell phone. And what we have to do is influence that. And the way that dealers are getting really good at influence that you've had some guests on here that I'm really good friends with, right? Brian Pash has taught me so much about digital marketing and website merchandising, right? David Kane and I've trained together multiple times. He's a mentor of mine. I like call him with life questions, right? One of the things that Brian Pash helped me to really wrap my head around is when you're a dealer who has a website, right? When you're a dealer that's got a website, don't compare your website to other car dealers' websites. Compare your websites to everywhere else your customers are buying things. And
from Amazon's, you mean?
Yeah, from Amazon to Apple to like anywhere I'm going to buy something, that's the experience that your customers are used to. And so what we see is like, when you go to Apple, right? The new iPhone came out. I don't know if you guys, like, it's a huge deal. It was really cool. There was people in the like audience, and when you go to the website to look at that new iPhone, there's 2 buttons: learn more and buy. Right? Like that's it. Like, because that's why you're there. You either want to learn more or you want to buy it. I'm doing a masterclass right now for Ford, a masterclass for Nissan. I'm doing a 14-week masterclass for 2 publicly traded groups, Group 1 Automotive, Berkshire Hathaway Automotive. And in this masterclass, I audited all the students' websites. The low number of buttons on a VDP page to the high number of buttons on a VDP page was 9 to 11. Okay. That's
9 to 11 call to action buttons.
9 to 11 CTAs on average on their vehicle detail pages. That's on, and the VDP pages have turned into a casino, right? It's like flashing lights and like the chat button that's like chasing you around. It feels like it's playing against Snake on my old Nokia, right? Like it's following me around. There's like pop-ups happening. There's lots of websites. There's 3 call to actions that all say the same thing. And when you analyze that critically, there's this misalignment between what customers are showing up to do and what our websites are trying to do. And what is the big difference?
What is the big missing alignment that as a consumer you want to buy online the car, or do you want to do the next step? Or what is the dealer trying to solve, more leads, or what's the case?
Yes.
Steeds meer collega's gebruiken Used Car Controller. Taxeren, calculeren, publiceren of auto's verhandelen met je persoonlijke handelsplatform? Met 1 abonnement geeft Used Car Controller je controle over alle kritische gebruikte autoprocessen. Zo maakt Used Car Controller je tot de beste in je vak. Findio is de merkonafhankelijke automotive partner. Findio is er voor uw klanten en u. Zo kunt u zorgeloos ondernemen en uw rendement verbeteren. Uw online leads opvolgen binnen 30 seconden? Dat kan met Calldrip. Vraag direct een demo aan.
Right, like that's the answer. As a consumer, every consumer is wanting to do different things, right? And what most of them are wanting to do is, if you think about an automotive purchase from a like psychological perspective of somebody buying a big ticket item, there are all of these questions that I need to answer for myself that the byproduct of is me making a purchase, right?
Yeah.
So like, what is my trade? Like, what is my old car worth? Right? What is my payment going to be? And what's the interest rate to finance this vehicle? What equipment is available on the vehicle? And the thing is that in auto, all of those are interconnected with each other, right? Like they're all kind of and customers don't just want to know the answer to one of those questions. They want to know the answer to that question in context with the other questions that they're trying to answer, because when all of those pieces kind of get put together, the byproduct is that they make a purchase. Yeah. And they're coming to our websites to find out that information. And if it's available and it makes sense and it's rational, then they go ahead and purchase it through the website. So there is a big slice of customers that, and Paul, you proved it in early 2000s, where a customer could click a button and actually buy a car, right? There is a big chunk of customers that want to click a button and actually buy a car. But
is it also, Joe, that the definition of an online sale is very, I don't want to say fucked up, but I'm going to say it anyway. But that when I'm sending a lead, and you can also say a lead is an answer not given on the website, because you didn't provide some information, that if the whole communication is online now through WhatsApp, or you are doing still text, but that makes us feel weird, text, because that was something from the 90s, but okay, that's it. But if you are going to do the whole communication online and you're buying the car through email or text conversation, then it's still an online purchase, right? It doesn't have to be always a button, buy me now.
Yeah. So here's what makes this really challenging, right? And this is what great companies are getting even better at, right? Like whether it's like Disney is a digital company and a human company, right? Like, like, so these companies that are incredible are blending these experiences in ways that allow all of us to accomplish what we want. I think of customers like this, right? You have this online customer, right? That is, the 23-year-old in his parents' basement with his headphones on and Cheeto dust on his fingers, that doesn't want to talk to anybody and likes to like play his video games and code and wants to buy this car because he needs transportation, like, and wants to do it all through the website and never talk to anybody. No. That customer exists, right? Like that's a real customer. It's a small percentage. You also have like over here, right? So you got that customer. Then over here, you've got the like 65-year-old person with their hat on that says like, you know, and they want to, they want to come in, they want to arm wrestle everybody, and they want to negotiate about everything, and they want to go tell their friends at the pub about how they got the best deal because they're such a good negotiator. They're not using that dang old internet. Like those are two endpoints where every customer exists. And what we have to do with our digital strategies is create a space where every one of those customers along this path, right? Every one of these customers that are on different spots in that spectrum can get what they're hoping to get from our dealerships. And this was an eye opener for me, right? We launched this button that allows us to like finance a vehicle online for a customer, and we put it on dealer websites, and we started seeing all these interesting behavior sets, right? Where a customer comes to the dealership, they test drive the car, and they love the car, but they're not ready to buy yet, right? So they've been to the dealership, they've driven the car, they go home, now they're laying in bed and they're scrolling through the inventory and they're building out their car deal, and then they submit their loan information over to the lender and they get an approval, and now they're choosing which loan they want, and now they're scheduling their delivery to come back in tomorrow and pick that thing up, and then they like finish everything and schedule an appointment for delivery. Well, is that an online customer or is that a physical customer? Who cares, right? It's a customer, right? You see the opposite. You see a customer that does everything online, isn't quite ready to buy because they want to drive it first. So they schedule an appointment to go to the dealership to drive it, and then they finish everything at the dealership. Like, is that an online customer or is that an in-store customer? Who cares, right? And I think this is the big problem. And I get in really big debates with people, and I have because I hate the word omni-channel, because I think it reinforces the like channel mentality that we've had in the business for too long, which is it a showroom up? Is it a floor up? Is it a service up, an internet up, a be-back, a phone up? Is it a third party up? Up is, by the way, American slang for leads, right?
Yeah.
Service customer, is it a third party customer? Is it well, here's the problem. The customer is the channel, right? Those aren't different channels. That customer is the channel. Yeah. Those are touch points where that customer is connecting with my dealership. And those are all these opportunities for me as a dealer to like deliver value to that customer in a way that builds a relationship and increases the likelihood that they do business with my organization. Mm-hmm. So what you have to do is win every one of those micro moments, whether it's our website doing it, it's our people doing it, whether I am using the app at Disney World to find my way around, or I'm asking somebody for directions, my outcome is the same. You help me get to where I want to go. And
it's only a tool, right?
Yeah, it's this integration of all of that into a superior unified customer experience.
Yeah, because sometimes we over-engineer the fact that the internet or the website is not a miracle, but still a tool to make connections in one way or the other, or giving information. But it's still, you're absolutely right to have not a discussion about omni-channel, but only to one consumer, and how can I reach them through which channel?
So I have these things that I kind of get myself in trouble for, right? I'm on a rally against leads. I feel like in the early 2000s, I was an internet director, right? People showed up
20 years ago, eh?
I know. Oh, I know.
No, but it looks like that we lost the last 20 years to not making improvement because we are still in that crunch of leads.
Yeah, so 20 years ago, people showed up and started selling us leads and got us addicted to leads. So we think in this lead mentality, right? Like we think in this mentality of leads. And leads are actually, Paul, an input, right? They're an input. And the output is the important thing. And the thinking in leads, I think, actually does some things that hurt our ability to deliver a great customer experience. Yeah, I think it dehumanizes that lead is actually a person that wants to buy something awesome. And they are excited and they're a human being and they are fully contextualized as a human being. And we see them as like 3 data points that we can then harass until we get them into our dealerships. And for me, I think that has clouded our judgment in a way that has kept us from being able to actually execute really crystal clear e-commerce in a way that drives online buying, that helps us as a dealership to grow our market share, deliver a better customer experience, and a better customer experience delivers a higher profit margin. So, I think that this is about taking technology that's available and leveraging it to empower our teams to actually deliver a superior customer experience. And that means responding to all of your customer needs in a way that connects with what that customer is trying to accomplish. And I think that Disney example is perfect, right? Yeah. Using the app that shows me where I am and gives me little feet prints of where I need to go where I want to go. Or I could ask the person with the logo on their shirt. And both ways, Disney's helping me to find my way, right? But in both of those ways, they're just doing it through 2 different channels. And maybe one customer finds this channel more appealing. Maybe the other customer finds talking to that person more appealing. I want to win both of those. Yeah. Both of those moments, I want to win as a dealer. So for me, I think that's the like psychological or sociological hurdle we have to get over. In the US, people hear the term digital and they relegate it to kind of a siloed department in the dealership, right? They put it in the internet department, which has been so focused on leads for 20 years that it's almost like hard to break apart that and start moving. It's why I started calling it remote selling, right? Because I'm actually engaged in selling behavior. I just don't have a customer sitting in front of me because we're making the point of sale fluid so that it can move to wherever that customer is.
Hey, and about Autofy, what is your company current doing in that whole buzzword about digital retailing? Because you are going to be anxious about omni-channel. I'm going to be anxious about digital retailing.
So I actually have a slide in my presentation that you may have seen in ADA where the word digital retail catches on fire and then it kind of turns into ash. Yeah. I actually hate the word digital retail, and it's my title, right? I'm the head of digital retail at AutoFi. It's not digital retail. It's just retail. And for me, at AutoFi, I'm really proud of what we're doing, right? What we're doing is empowering dealers to actually transform into e-commerce with an incredibly complex purchase that we simplify through really great integrations with the things necessary to actually get that purchase to a transactable point. Meaning that we have integrations with the most important lenders in the US. We have integrations with the OEMs that give us information on things like incentives. We have integrations with things like CRMs and the credit decisioning system. So we are taking all these pieces and pulling them together to actually deliver to the customer a transactable deal through the dealership's website or through people at the dealership, putting that directly into the hands of a consumer. And for the first time in the US with AutoFi, we've gotten to a place where a customer can get a real-time credit decision on a website from multiple banks and multiple lenders and choose the one that's best for them so they can actually do everything online. And
almost in real time?
In real time. It takes about 40 to 90 seconds for that to happen. So a customer fills out a really nice, seamless credit app that's broken into small pieces. They hit submit. It does a soft pull on their credit profile. So it establishes a credit profile. Then it routes based on that profile to the lenders that are the right profile match with that consumer. Who then hard pull their credit and actually decision them on a loan. So then the customer sees contractable loans that are firm offers of credit, not an estimate, but here's, if you want to buy it, click here and you can do everything and buy it. And so we deliver that to the consumer via the dealer's website using the lenders that are the most common for the dealer. And it's a really robust set of technology that's empowering dealers to actually deliver an e-commerce experience in a multitude of ways. So one is come to my website and buy it. One is maybe, Paul, you submitted a lead through a third-party lead provider. It comes to me at the dealership. And instead of saying, hey, Paul, when do you want to come in and take a look at that vehicle? I say, hey, Paul, our customers like to do one of two things. They either like to come look at it and drive it, or they like to start building out their car deal. Click here. Here's your interactive car deal, and you can start structuring it and answering all your questions. So there's all these ways that it connects the consumer and the dealer and empowers them to build that connective tissue and relationship.
Yeah, but is that also working with a trade-in tool, or is it directly going to a used or a new car, or is that trade-in value also one thing to be taken and care of in the decision of the financing?
Yeah, so we actually integrate with multiple trade-in tools. So whether it's like Kelley Blue Book and their instant cash offer or other ones in the marketplace, we integrate so that a dealer can automate a real-time trade-in value through their website, whether they want to use regular Kelley Blue Book or their ICO value. We are integrated with multiple trade-in tools that allow a dealer to choose the trade-in tool that's best for them and automate a trade-in value to fill out that deal and actually allow it to be, or create a deal that's real that can be sent to a lender.
Joe, I know your time is very valuable for you, of course, and I'm appreciated the time you are giving me. I have one last question, but we already taking care of that, what I'm going to ask you, but now the corona, etc., makes it difficult to travel. But next year in 2021, we are going to organize our event, the Digital Car Dealer Workshop, where Brian was already there 8 times. He's going to be there in April. So we have a great spot in November 2021, and I'm going to promise you that we are going to take care of you and your wife to come to Amsterdam. And then we need a heck of a presentation in Antwerp and in Amsterdam to give your feedback about making the online automotive better.
Paul, I am absolutely honored to be asked, and there's nothing that would make me as happy as getting to come to Europe for a few days to share the knowledge from the front lines of the American car business digital retail revolution. So I would love that.
And what can we learn from that? And actually, maybe you are getting also some great feedback or ideas from here.
I would love that.
in many things, America is the front runner in marketing, sales things. But sometimes in websites, designs, etc., I think they can learn something from us as well.
I am a student of this game, and I'm always looking to learn more. And I have been shocked at the places that I have been that have taught me something so new and powerful that I can bring it back to my company and my team and spread that within the dealers that we love and support in the US. So I would love that, Paul.
Okay, great. So Joe, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in this live event. Thank you for all you bring. And I love to get your feedback on other things. We are going to be in contact. And then I hope you have a very great weekend.
Yeah, you too, Paul. Thank you so much. And for all of you, appreciate your time. We'll see you soon. See you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nou, dus dat was hem, Joe St. John van Autovai. En ik denk dat ik niet heb overdreven dat het een ontzettend benadigd spreker is. Een benadigde persoon op die online automotive. En dat hij een bijzondere visie heeft. Voornamelijk over de customer journey, die omnichannel. En alles wat met leads te maken heeft.
Dankjewel voor het luisteren naar wederom een aflevering van onze podcast met de missie om de online automotive beter te maken. Waardeert u onze podcast? Abonneer dan snel via onder andere iTunes, Spotify of Soundcloud. Actief delen op LinkedIn of Facebook? Dat waarderen wij graag. Evenals een review op iTunes. De podcast van Paul wordt mede mogelijk gemaakt door de volgende partners: Marktplaats, Calldrip, Findio, Used Car Controller en tweedehands.be.